Good morning. So I hope everybody is doing well. So we're going to have a quick look at the markets, and then we're going to go have a look and see how crypto.com and Cronos is doing at this point in time. But the bleeding just doesn't seem to be stopping. It keeps on dropping down. But we get like Grayscale, which is selling, but Bitcoin keeps on holding that $39,000 to $40,000 mark, which is looking pretty strong at the moment. And you can see here, we're sitting at $40,704 with a good old market cap of $1.57 trillion. So we're all looking pretty good at the moment. And we can see here on the banter bubbles, you can see on the bubbles here, it's all green at the moment. You can see like SATs at 10% up, CFX up 12.99% up. As of today, CAS up 6.30%, OP 8.8%, IMX 2%. You know, it's all green. We've got a few reds, but it's all green at the moment. And that's because obviously Bitcoin has just had a little bit of a move up to about, $40,700. So it's basically at the moment we can see here that we've been, like I mentioned, we've just been having that bit of sell pressure, which has been coming off Grayscale. As you can see here, we had 6,969 Bitcoin sent to Coinbase International, and that was 11 hours ago. But like I said, we're getting this sell pressure coming in, but then we've got the institution probably gobbling up those sell pressures. So that's why I think we're holding up around about that 39,045. And I said in previous videos, hold on, don't sell to these people. Do not sell to these individuals. I'm not saying never take profit. If you're up 10x or something like that on something, take your initial out. Take a little bit of profit out. You deserve it. But, at the moment, for me, I've been holding through this bear market. I have been accumulating through this bear market. I'm not going to get things like this shake me out, because at the moment you can see like the fear and greed, we're just dropped down to 49. We're on that cusp of fear starting to kick in, but at the moment we're 49. So we can see here 73, 51, 52 down to 49. Are we going to go just below and we're going to start entering a little bit of fear because people are the unknown? But look at it, this is the Bitcoin monthly chart on here. At the moment, we've had a bit of a red January as we're coming close to the end of it. So what is it going to be in February? February's always been a fairly green month. So is February going to be a green month for crypto? Are we going to start off with a green month? And is that where we're going to start to get those moves start moving? And then March, obviously we're getting close to that Bitcoin halving, don't forget. So there's always that risk of a Bitcoin dump, pre-halving dump coming into play. So always be aware of that. But March could still be a green. It doesn't mean, from like what's happened in previous cycles, it doesn't mean it's going to happen again. So it's always got to do your research, and that's basically what you got to do, is just do your research and have a plan in place. But hopefully February, is it going to be a green month, or is it going to start off red? Well, time will tell, obviously, on that one. But don't forget, this is where it comes back on Chris. Chris says here, hitting that 1 billion this cycle and crossing the chasm is all but inevitable. We've got like 150 million new crypto users. Crypto.com says here, the industry grew by 35% to 580 million users 2023, adding 150 million new users. So you can't get more bullish than that, to be honest with you. And we really got a bullish time. We've got the halving coming up, and you know what happens when Bitcoin cuts in half and the demand's there, and we know the demand's there because the Bitcoin ETF, and we know like people like BlackRock and all those of Fidelity are all buying a Bitcoin up. So the supply is shrinking, and in there it's going to get cut in half as well. So, ignore the FUD. If you're here for the long term, don't look at the 5-minute chart, zoom out on the daily, zoom out on the weekly, and we can see here, of course, we can see here on the weekly, on the daily here, we're grinding up, we're just chopping along here. So we can go and put on the sideways here, on the horizontal line, to around about this base here, and we could go over here again and put one around about this area. We're just chopping around. Yes, we have dropped down, but if you can see what was happening here, we're starting to try to find a way back up against this resistance here, back up into the accumulation area where we're accumulating along here. We're just bouncing around. We drop down and we're starting to catch up. But if you notice one thing's happened here, we had here if I pull this down here, we can see it better. We had the bare moon that came in, and then hence why we've dropped down. But you look here, we could see here, we've got this is on the daily, by the way, we've got the bull moon here, and there's not, basically, if we could start pushing up and try break through here, we're in no man's land here for in terms of the bears and the bulls. It's sort of even footing, so there could be a big chance that we could push up and break through this. But at the moment, we're sort of here. We've got, if we drop down again to around that 36,000, there's nothing really much here. The bears have got a little bit more momentum to go here than the bulls, and especially down this bit. But hopefully we get back up here, start coming in this range again, and make our way up. But at the moment, we're in this bullish moon scenario on the daily right now. We've sort of went oversold on the stock RSI. We're starting to push back up now into that zone night. So hopefully it's going to be a bullish month coming into February with any luck. So let's have a quick check on Cronos. So we can see Cronos at the moment is trying to battle away, get up to that 80 cents again. And we can see this, we've had this big whopping candle, which has pushed us up a 1.49% on the day in that. So you can see here. But I just want to point out also, we can look at crypto.com. You know, if you look at what's happening in the market, we can see the Bitcoin adoption is growing, driven by Bitcoin orders or protocols. So Bitcoin owners are up around about 33% at this point in time. But I just want to point out something here, and that, you know, but when you're looking at like things like Cronos and crypto.com and what they're achieving, the debit cards, we've got all these new earns coming back, and we've got the voting system coming back, voting coming in regarding about upping those, you know, those APRs, which we all want, because at the end of the day, those APRs go up. It's going to attract more people to the Cronos and to crypto.com, which is going to be good for us CRO holders. And we can see here, Cronos has been recognized as one of the 5 most promising Cosmos chains, you know, and it's there, and I keep saying this on every video. What Cronos and what crypto.com have been building is absolutely phenomenal. The marketing crypto.com's doing, and don't forget with Cronos, that's only been going since November of 2021. You know, so it's not that old an ecosystem, really, to be honest with you. But we can see here, Cronos had dropped down to 14th position, but now we flipped Cardano and we're now in 13th. And I'm hoping, because if you look at the TVL on SUI base, on the TVL, there's not much difference. It's not going to take much for Cronos to start pushing up, because we're at 323 billion. The next one is SUI at 367 billion, then 383 billion, 384 billion. It's not going to take much for us to push straight through back here and get into that top 10 again. It's not going to take much at all. And like I said, with what you can see here with the Cronos chain, you know, 5 most promising as well. You know, so basically the 5 most promising networks, it says here, if you go to CoinGate, tagged as the internet blockchain, you can see number 1 is Namada, number 2 is DYDX chain, it's mentioned here. Then you got Osmosis, and then you can see Cronos is here as well. And then Juno at number 5. It says here, Cronos is another EVM compatible chain with a Cosmos ecosystem. It was built with Ethereum, the implementation of the EVM that was in turn created by the Cosmos SDK. And we can see here that Cronos, well, if I highlight this here for you, we can see here the Cronos recently announced the launch of its ZK EVM chain, initially a testnet based on MaterLab software tools, making the first public testnet to Matter the Lab ZX stack. You know, it's all coming together. And if you're bearish on CRO, I do not know what to say. Everything they're building, everything what the Cronos is building, everything what crypto.com is doing. And if you're bearish now, I do not know what to say. Because people are saying, well, what do you think Cronos CRO is going to go to? Well, you know, it can go to anywhere. There's nothing stopping it from going to $5 to $10 one day. You do not know. But in the medium term, in this bull market, when everything starts really kicking off and things start going parabolic, I really do think anywhere from $1, I feel like it's going to go up to anywhere to $3. Anywhere between that $1 to $3 mark. That's where I really think it's going. And why do I think that? It's because look at the ecosystem. Look what Cronos is doing. Look at what crypto.com's doing. I say it in every video. What they're doing is absolutely Massive. And we're starting to get bigger influencers gradually starting to talk about them. Like we've got Ben Armstrong, for an example, has started to talk about Cronos. And more will follow, no doubt. When you start seeing CRO start pumping up, you'll start to get people talking about it even more. And, you know, and what will happen then is when you start getting CRO pumping off, we've got Tectonic at the moment, which is up 0.5% of the day. And this is another project which I am accumulating on because, look, the market cap is only at $33 million. There's a long way for it to go. And in the bear, as you can see, we've dropped down, come sideways, we've dropped down. And for me, this has been like accumulation area for me. And we can look on here as well, go on here, and we can see we've found support around about this area here. We've sort of come up, Bitcoin's dropped down, we've dropped down heavy, but this is where I'm accumulating right now. This is where I'm accumulating as we've been coming along this section here. This area here is my accumulation. We could drop down a bit further down to this support node here on the VPU VR here. This node here is a great bit of support here for Tectonic. But like I said, Tectonic is, to me, is a great buy zone. Always do your own research. Don't follow what I do. This is what I'm personally doing. For me, I've been accumulating a little bit more around this zone around here. Let me know where you're accumulating, and put it down in the comments below. And also put in the comments below, you know, what do you think? CRO, what do you think Tectonic is going to get to in this bull market? I know people are looking at, some people have been saying between 1 to 3. Let me know down below in the comments what do you think it's going to go to. But I really do think Tectonic right now is a great buy zone. Yes, we could drop down a little bit more. It's out of CO. We could drop down a little bit more if Bitcoin does. But obviously, what about if it doesn't? It's this great buy area right now. And then we start moving up. Like Bitcoin right now is here, and then suddenly it starts moving up. Because like I said, crypto can take you by surprise. Bitcoin can take you by surprise. While you're going bearish, Bitcoin doesn't bother. Bitcoin at any time could pump to all-time high. So always have that in mind. But at the same time, we could drop down. So always have a plan in place ready for that. So like I said, give us a thumbs up and give us a subscribe. It's always much appreciated. And yeah, just keep an eye out today. Maybe a bit of a volatile day today. But look at that. We're on the moon. We've had a bit of a moon here. And you can see what's happened here on Bitcoin on the moons before, like here. Back on November of 2023. And look at that movement we had here just before I go. We had this moon here. And then Bitcoin pumped up 22%. So if we went up again around about the 22% for where the moon came into place, that's going to take us back up to that 49,000, up to, well, could take us up to around about, yeah, $49,000. So yeah, just be prepared. And if it could happen, it's crypto. So take care out there, and I'll see you soon in the next video.